All right, so this question comes from Joshua. AD 5674. Question is random question for DK. How tall are you, and what's your shoe size?
Oh my God! I'm 5'11". Shoe size big.
Okay, I figured out my key to success, now I'm locked in. I learned how to open doors like a locksmith. I'm uptown, I'm the one they wanna shop with. Run off with the bag, even though we don't shoplift. All that gun talk y'all want, I'm not with. It's not cool, everybody got them long clips. You gon' mess around and get one of your dogs hit. And when you do, I hope you know you're not John Wick.
What up? Welcome back. Appreciate you locking in with us. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble.
I know I did. I had 3 Thanksgiving dinners I had to go to, man.
Wow.
So, yeah, your boy's a little heavy. I'm Atwood, by the way, Killer to my left, DK, here on the mats, Next Element Academy. So we were going to wait and do this episode next week, but actually it works out because I thought that the fights were next weekend. They're this weekend. Next week, we're going to have a pretty cool guest on.
Yeah.
So we're going to, it all works out. So we're talking about UFC 310 today. Great card. In my opinion, probably one of the best cards of the year.
I can't believe it's 310 UFCs, not to mention
Of all the fight nights.
all the fight nights and the fight card, all the different things, man. The Ultimate Fighter fights. How many fights actually have taken place under a UFC banner over the years,
Yeah, I wonder what that true number is. It's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure somebody knows out there. I mean, it's easy, probably easy Google search.
I'm sure, yeah. Yeah.
But it's just wild to think about that, I remember watching UFC 32 and 33 Vendetta with that was Ken Shamrock, I think. UFC 33.
It's Vendetta. Must have been like Ken and Tito, maybe?
I think it was Ken and Tito's first one, maybe, yeah. Or second one, I can't remember.
Yeah, one of the greatest rivalries in UFC history.
I just remember Ken Shamrock on that card. And then 51, 52, 53, those were the era of Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, different things like that. And then you had the UFC 60s. I remember a lot of Andre Arlovski.
God, that dude, and still fighting to this day.
Crazy, dude.
I wonder how many times his nose has been broken.
I remember seeing him when he first fought Tim Sylvia for a UFC heavyweight title. I was like, this dude's a heavyweight? He is jacked. He doesn't look like your normal heavyweight.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? When he first came onto UFC, he had his fangs in his mouth, dude. I wonder if he still wears that mouthpiece.
Oh, I don't know about that mouthpiece. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, he looked intense, man. So it was really neat to it's just crazy the transition over the years of the UFC,
Yeah, I got to meet him and I took a picture with him and stuff when I went to a UFC event.
Yeah.
He's not really that tall.
Really?
Yeah, he's not as tall as I thought he would be.
Oh, it was a 6'2"?
That's probably about accurate. Yeah, he wasn't super tall. But I remember standing next to him, I'm like, damn, this dude isn't that big.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, UFC 310, big card. Down all the way to the prelims, man. So I'm excited about it. And, we've kind of been talking a little bit about it the last couple of days. The biggest story, I think, of UFC 10 is probably I already forgot his name. The Asian dude that's stepping in.
Oh, Kai.
Yeah. He's stepping in to fight Pantoja.
Asakura, right?
Asakura.
Asakura.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
First fight in the UFC, and he's fighting for a title. Then again, it is the flyweight division, who I think out of all the divisions in the UFC have kind of lacked excitement at times for the casual fan.
Yeah.
Because there was people that were casual fans that didn't really like watching Demetrius Johnson fight, which is crazy. Dude's one of the best ever. But But yeah, I'm excited for the card, man.
Yeah, Demetrius Johnson is just like, I mean, now he's moved on. He was a superstar in America, right? And not many people heard about him in Japan. And then he started fighting in like in Japan and China, doing all the stuff with One.
Yeah,
and everything like that. And
well, they did that infamous trade where they traded DJ away and brought in Ben Askren.
So crazy, man.
And then Ben Askren, 2 and
shit
done.
the bed.
Yeah.
Got kneed in the head.
Dude, what about his first fight?
Shit the bed, got kneed in the head.
What about his first fight against Robbie Lawler? I thought he was dead for a second. But Herb Dean, listen, people can say what they want about that guy. One of my favorite refs of all time. He let it go.
Yeah.
And dude ended up coming back and winning.
Yeah.
But let's start from the bottom of the card. And when I say the bottom of the card, I mean the prelims. That's how stacked this card is. But I'm not going to start with the first fight because I don't know who they are. Second fight, Clay Guida and Chase Hooper.
Wow.
Interesting fight, right? Just because of Chase's grappling.
Well,
and Clay's wrestling.
Clay's wrestling, but Clay's been grappling for, I mean, the guy's been fighting in the UFC for, I mean, him and Jim Miller are neck and neck here.
And, dude, Clay Guida, one of my favorite fights of all time, him, Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah.
Dude, did you see the odds on that? Clay Guida is plus 675. Hooper is minus 1050.
Oh, man.
They think that Hooper's just going to walk through Clay Guida.
Wow.
I might put some money on Clay.
Yeah, just put like $10 on him.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
Well, if I put 100, then I'll win 675.
Yeah.
You know? But Chase, he's been winning fights, man. His stand-up is getting better, but he still lacks there. I think Guida gets that fight, but I'm excited to see that fight.
Man,
that's lightweight too. Clay's still making lightweight. How old is that guy? 40?
Shoot, it should say on there, right?
I don't know. Or maybe if I click on it. I don't know, but he's 38 and 21.
42 years old, bro.
That's crazy.
42 years old, 5'6". That Chase Hooper is 25.
Yeah, I'll take the.
He's almost old enough to be his daddy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
Like my daughter is about to be 20 years old, and I'm 41. So it's like, I mean, ultimately he had him at 16.
Who you take? Yeah,
dude. I don't know, man.
I might even put some money on Clay. Pray for the best.
This Chase Hooper kid, I mean, he's a little stud, man.
Yeah, but his stand-up isn't that great.
Yeah, but neither is Clay Guida's, man.
Yeah, but Clay Guida's tough as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where's this kid train out of?
I think he maybe Vegas.
Combat Sports and Fitness.
I'm gonna take Guida though.
He's out of Washington State, Combat Sport and Fitness. So is that? I wonder if that's the same as Demetrius Johnson's team.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like Chase Hooper could be Ben Askren's son though.
Yeah, with the hair.
I think he even did something to Jorge Masvidal. I came up to him and was like, did I interview with him? Jorge didn't know who he was. He's like, why'd you do that to my dad? He goes, who's your dad? He goes, Ben Askren. He goes, oh, shit, dude, my bad. Like,
that's funny, man. Anyways,
so I'm going to take Guida on that one.
Yeah.
Next fight. I like this fight because I'm a fan of Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa, Max Griffin.
Yeah, man.
I'm a fan of both of them. But Max Payne Griffin, that dude is a monster. But so is Michael Chiesa. Chiesa's getting a little bit older, probably one of his last fights, I would imagine.
I mean, they both got similar records, you know.
Yeah. What is Chiesa, 12 and
19-7, and Max Griffin's 20-10. Similar. I mean, Chiesa's younger. He's 36.
Damn, Chiesa is younger than Griffin.
Yeah.
And Chiesa's his last 3 fights, he's won one of them. But he's fought, well, he beat Tony Ferguson. He fought Holland before that and lost by submission. I don't know if you remember that one. And then he lost to Sean Brady. Holland and Brady both studs.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. If it goes to decision, I think Chiesa wins.
I agree with that.
If it, I mean, you know, So
I do think that Max can knock him out, though. We'll see.
We will see.
Moving on, Cody Durden, great fighter, fighting Joshua Vaughn. He's a good fighter too.
He's a good fighter. That was an excellent breakdown.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a whole lot about Joshua Vaughn. I've just seen some highlights, but I know Cody. Cody, I think he's got like 8 first-round finishes.
Yeah, I think he's an Atlanta dude.
Yeah. Yes.
Cody Durden.
Dude's he fought Matt Schnell.
Matt Schnell won by submission.
Schnell, an old
Schnell.
getting old too, isn't he?
Yeah, but so he's what's he 1-1 in the UFC?
Who, Durden?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his record is in the UFC. I know he's got 6 wins, 6 knockouts though.
Yeah, he's been fighting in the UFC. What was that? Who was I thinking about?
I don't know. 51% takedown accuracy and 50% striking accuracy. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Southpaw.
So I'll take Durden on that.
Take Durden on that one.
And next is a fight that we should have saw on the last card, but Eric Anders fell ill. I think it was food poisoning. It's Chris Weidman. Eric Anders.
Man, I've been looking forward to this. I want to see.
It's a catch weight too.
Yeah, I want to see Chris Weidman.
Oh yeah,
You know,
dude,
I want to see him.
all of us like who are I don't want to
like
say getting
itching.
old, but older and have been watching the sport for a while have seen Chris Weidman's career and the highs and lows. So you just want to see a guy bounce back after.
Dude, I've said it numerous times on here, but it's like, you know, I ran into Chris Weidman. You know, I tried out I can't remember if my first or second time trying out for Ultimate Fighter. I show up in Vegas. I think it was I was 5-2 at the time. You know, I was coming off a loss. Anyways, I show up in Vegas. I get to Red Rock Casino, Hotel and Casino in Red Rock, right outside of Vegas, and that's where tryouts are. Like I go to get in line. I mean, there's a freaking giant line. You know. Yeah. I go and I sit down, and you know, and the dude I'm next to, I start talking to him, chit chatting. It's freaking Chris Weidman. You know, we talk. You know, he's only 3-0 at the time, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing him. He was trying out for the middleweight Ultimate Fighter, and I was trying out for 170. I think they ended up taking middleweight that year, or 170 that year. I didn't make it past the first round, but I mean, he made it all the way through all of them, so it was pretty neat.
Yeah, and then goes on to
yeah. Next time I saw him, I was like, you know, next time I saw him, he's in the UFC. I was like, dude,
yeah. I think he lives in South Carolina now.
He lives in Fort Mill, actually, dude.
Yeah,
he trains out of Jimmo.
Yep. And he does some training with team. Blackout?
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
It's the Karate Combat guys. Steven Thompson's team. It's Black something.
Oh.
He trains up there a lot too.
Yeah. Pitch Black.
Pitch Black. That's
Pitch
it.
Black.
That's it. I've seen him at some of the the fights that I've
they've
ref.
been training together for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like back and forth.
Right. So yeah, super stoked to see what he comes back and does, especially against. Listen, Eric Anders may not be like a huge name. The dude's been in the UFC now probably for like 5-6 years, something like that. I think he might have been a football player beforehand.
Yeah.
He's not a walk in the park. I think Eric Anders will probably win, but I want Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
And it's a catch weight, so they're not have to cut all that weight again. I don't know what the catch weight is. I'm assuming it's probably like, you know what? What do you think?
It's probably 190.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, something like that. Yeah. And then one of your boys, Randy Brown.
Randy Brown, how's he my boy?
I thought you knew him.
No, I don't know Randy Brown.
Who is it that you know? Is Randy something? I thought. No. Dude, there's a dude that we've talked about trying to get on this podcast.
Randy. I don't know, man.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking of Randy and Rowe. It's Philip Rowe.
Philip Rowe.
That's your boy. Yeah.
Philip
Randy
Rowe.
Brown's still cool.
Randy Brown. I think, yeah, they're both Jamaican dudes.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, well,
I just saw the
Jamaican
flag.
descent. Jamaican descent.
okay.
Yeah. And then Brian Battle, Charlotte dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I have his number. I've never hit him up though.
yeah.
I felt weird. I was gonna try to get him on the pod, but I was like, what if I just text him? I was like, that dude don't remember me.
No, definitely not.
So I think I'm weird.
You weirdo.
But Randy, I can't bet against Brian Battle right now. The guy's on.
Dude's
a
on a streak, man.
Yeah.
He's just getting after it, man. And Randy's a stud, but he's got
He's also the underdog.
yeah. Randy is?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the underdog?
Randy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's plus 190.
Okay. Let's get it.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Brian on that one. Who you picking?
Battle.
Yeah, it's hard to go against him.
Yeah.
And then featherweight, somebody I never thought I would see on the prelims is old Aljamain Sterling.
Oh, dude. It's crazy. His haircut on the UFC page, though, man. Have you seen
he
that?
looks like Sideshow Bob, dude.
Yeah. Literally, what I was like, man, who does he look like?
Yeah.
If you guys ever, watch Simpsons,
Mm-hmm.
Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, you would get the reference. The guy he's fighting though, I don't know who that is.
18-0, bro.
He's 18-0.
18-0.
The Russia guy, of course. I bet he's from Dagestan. It's Mavsar Evildiv.
Something. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, 18-0. Dang. Let's see. Oh, all right. So Aljamain's the underdog.
He beat.
No. Yeah,
he's
the
beat
underdog.
Diego Lopez.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, by decision. He was supposed to fight Bryce Mitchell.
Oh, he just fought Allen. He beat.
He's beat
Arnold Allen.
Man, like, dude's on a tear, man. Like, they're setting. Guy hasn't lost.
18-fight win streak.
He's beat. Wow.
3 knockouts, 4 wins by submission. So 11 of those fights went to decision.
Man, he's gonna beat the brakes off of poor Sterling, man.
You think so?
I think so, man. Yeah, they might be trying to get rid of Aljamain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's how this
if
happens.
He weren't Russian.
So I've heard this before, right? This is how this happens.
Mm-hmm.
They only give you one offer. This is it. Take it or leave it.
I wonder if he's on the last fight of his contract too.
I don't know, man. When I was I was fighting for Bellator. I fought Marcin Held, which that fight's on YouTube, man. I found it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me getting heel hooked and scream tapping. Anyways, I didn't fight for 17 months. I was on like 17-month layoff, and then got this call. I was like 3-fight contract, for Bellator. And then my first fight was Marcin Held, who was up and coming, like, badass young kid who had just beat Felipe Nova. Next fight offer was Felipe Nova, who was, runner up for Ultimate Fighter, I think season 12, something like that. And then he was also, Dana White was like, dude, this might be the next Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre because he's just so dynamic, man. And a nurse. Felipe Nova. He's like an actual nurse in Brooklyn, New York, yeah. Anyways, fought him, and I remember Kurt was like, yeah, you don't have nobody else. Like, what's any other offers? Is like, this is it. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And you're making less than what you made last time.
Damn.
I made $1,000 less than when I made my first fight.
That's crazy. And
I was supposed to get at least a $500 raise. And they told me I didn't sell enough tickets to get a raise.
Isn't that crazy
It's
that
like
those
crazy.
days are basically over of fighters, like in the big promotions like that, like physically selling tickets, you know? But it's from a business standpoint, let's just say for this Aljamain Sterling fight, makes sense from business, right? Because if he loses and this is his last contract, like if they wanted to, they could let him go. But if he wins against this stud, it puts him
now
right
it's
back
right
in
back
line.
in the highlight,
Yep.
in the starlight, you
Right
know?
back in line for a title shot in the, maybe wins a fight and then fights for a title again. But yeah, since this dude's Russian, I'm not going to pick against him.
I'm not picking again.
Yeah. So I'm going to
Listen,
go with
we saw
Mofsar.
yeah, Moss.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to say that last name.
Yeah, I can't believe it's on the undercard, man.
Yeah, right? How about this one, too? Nick Diaz was supposed to fight on this card against Vicente Luque. But then some video came out of Nick Diaz. Did I send it to you? Where, like, he was only on the side of the road playing with, like, grass, like, trying to light it on fire. And somebody's like, hey, Nick. And he goes, what? And he starts, like, yelling at him. Didn't look like he was in a good spot mentally. Now, I don't know if it ever came out that was for sure Nick Diaz. It looked like him and it sounded like him. And then he got taken off the card a couple days later. So I don't know what's going on with Nick Diaz. But I think we can both agree he don't need to be fighting. Yeah. Especially Vicente Luque.
Yeah.
But so Thimba.
Nick or Nate?
Nick. Yeah, the older one. Yeah. So since Nick is out, they put in a guy from Zimbabwe, Thimba Gorimbo.
Well, dude, they're doing like I'm seeing like these African dudes.
Oh yeah, they're starting to really branch out. And dude, 10 years from now, Africa is probably going to have a lot of champions, dude.
Oh yeah,
a lot,
dude. Because most of those dudes, especially those guys that are coming from dirt mud huts,
Francis
man,
Ngannou,
that they are trying to get a better life.
Oh yeah,
they're tired.
It's a different thing that they're fighting for.
It is, man. You know, we were talking about this. You know, we were talking about business stuff and like the cost of things and the prices of things. And it's like, I remember, like, dude, I used to, live. I had a roommate, bro. You got a roommate.
Yeah.
And when you got a roommate, you're like, dude, how can I want to live this thing. So I made a vision board. We talked about vision boards and different things like that. And I listened to, a lot of podcasts. Andy Frisella was one, the MF CEO. If you guys haven't listened to that, MF CEO with Andy Frisella. And then Ed Milet was a really big inspiration. He's called, is the Ed Milet Show. And I mean, that guy just inspired me so much to just take a risk, and just do it, and that's the thing. It's like sometimes we don't believe in our skills so much, you know what I'm saying? Which most of these people out here don't have the skills to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, but they got to start somewhere, right? Yeah. Like it's just like a fighter. They have to start somewhere, and then eventually you get good. Yeah. And then you become a household name. And now we're 6 years in business. I remember being a kid and thinking, I'm never going to be able to open my own business, man, because it's just so hard. There's so many different things to do, but it's just step after step and just envisioning the higher calling and different things like that, Mm-hmm. And so those dudes in Africa are just like, I mean.
Dude, so you got people here, right, that are fighting for a better life, but then you have people in Africa who are just fighting for what we would consider bottom of the barrel, dude. And that is exactly
clean water, bro.
Dude, that
they
is
want to be able to
fight.
Probably just go into the fridge and open up a clean
or just have
water.
Go home to air conditioning.
Running water, dude.
Right.
Have you seen that? There's a dude that goes around and he's like, I think it's in Africa or maybe in, some of these other places, but he's like, can I see your home? And I mean, dude, there's water. It's usually standing water down, and he's like, it looks like they're in Africa, and there's just so many different things that they how they cook and how they have to do different things.
There's places in Africa where they will take like clay,
Yeah.
and they'll put it into like, looks like little pancakes, and they'll dry it under the sun, and that's what they eat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude.
When
I was in Honduras, bro, they had, third world country, right? So all the I was building a school, this little village, and they would, the houses were made pretty much like out of mud, straw, sticks, and different things like that, which it looks almost like stucco after they're done with it, because it's so nice, and smoothed out anyways. But everything's dirt floor inside the house, and out back is a clay stove. And that's where they make their tortillas. That's where they make everything, put pots of stuff on there, man. And, man, you're talking, they would bring us tortillas, homemade tortillas, with these spaghetti, like, noodles and sauce, almost like SpaghettiOs type things with a little bit of meat in it, and with the grated, like, cojita cheese on top of it. I just saw this dude yesterday on Facebook. He's retiring after 23 years in the Air Force. He was our linguist, pretty much, our guy. He was from Colombia.
Translator?
Like a translator, yeah. But we didn't really have a translator. He was an electrician. But he was the only. we were building this school, and we had to talk to these villagers and stuff, and talk to them. Anyways, he would go around and talk to them. Well, they would give him gifts all the time, like. And so we'd be leaving. He was my buddy, so he'd share the food with me, man, and we'd eat the food, and it was just so good, bro.
Was it so good because you were used to MREs, or was it actually?
Well, that was another thing is, man, we were in Honduras, that's all we had to eat. It was UGRs, which is called unit group rations, and MREs for 3 months, I mean, we could go off base if we wanted to, and we had to be back by 8 o'clock, and we could get food there, but during the week, you're working from sundown, man. And
what was your favorite MRE?
Chili Mac,
I love asking soldiers.
Yeah, everybody, usually it's Chili Mac. I like, ravioli wasn't, or spaghetti or something like that. Yeah. What else would I would do? Chicken and dumplings, but I would do, I would get cheese packets, put the cheese packets in there, mix everything together. Maybe some hot sauce sometimes. Yeah. And so you'd have to go around to people that were eating MREs, and you'd have to like, hey man, like, you want to trade? I got these things like right here, prison. Like it's prison, dude. And be like, hey man, like I got some peanut butter and jelly, or I got peanut butter but no jelly. Anybody got any jelly? Or and then you don't get the. I don't know if you've ever ate an MRE, but the bread in those.
I've never eaten an MRE with bread.
So, oh my gosh, dude, it is bad. So when I was in Honduras, my first day, I wake up, and it's in the morning, and we're sleeping in a tent. There's no AC, there's nothing, and we're just in this tent, and the doors are kind of rolled up, and there's scorpions too, by the way. Yes.
In Honduras?
Scorpions where we were at. Honduras, yeah. And we were in this, it was called La Ceiba, Leceiba, La Ceiba, Honduras. And, there were scorpions, man. And so we had to watch out for scorpions and shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is a little bit off topic. Do scorpions die after they sting? Do their stingers get stuck in people?
I don't think that's what happens, yeah.
Okay.
I don't, but I'm not 100% sure if there's scorpion experts.
Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments.
By the way, at the end of this episode, we had a question for you in our last video. We'll get to that. But
anyways,
Vicente,
let's cover the main card.
Well, we're right there. We got Vicente Luque. I'm going to take Vicente. Don't really know the other guy. And then we have one more fight. There's Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith. Both of these guys fought John Jones. Anthony
Smith's on the way out.
Yes. Dominic Reyes probably too. But Dominic.
So that's a toss him up.
John will admit now that he thought that he lost that fight to Dominic. So Dominic probably the closest guy we've had besides maybe Alexander
Anthony's on his way out, dude. Anthony's on his way out.
Oh, man. For sure. So is Dominic.
Anthony's a freaking stud, though. Don't get me wrong.
I agree.
I saw that dude coming up.
That's a tough motherfucker,
CFFC.
dude.
And he was tough, and that's the problem. It's like you can only be tough for so long.
Right.
And then eventually, let's look at Chuck Liddell.
He's been getting finished, too.
Let's look at Chuck Liddell, dude. You know, like, dude was a gangster for the longest, and then he got starched by Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
And wasn't the same ever since.
True. I'm going to take Dominic on the Anthony Smith fight.
Yeah, same.
And then we move into the main card. Nate Landwehr. That dude has been on the come up. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah.
Nate the Train.
That
dude. Dude's post-octagon interviews are always amazing. He's fighting Do-Ho Choi from South Korea. That's going to be a good fight. I got to stick with the dude Nate, though. I think the Train rolls through South Korea.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And then Bryce Mitchell-Kron Gracie.
Toss him up, right? I just don't think, Kron's a gangster, but he's not as active. Not active at all.
Hardly at all.
So this might be another, like, toss him up too, or there might be like, hey, this is your final straw.
Yeah,
you know
but I think
this
I also think Kron Gracie's only had this would be like his 4th fight in the UFC.
I know, and he's only 5-3, dude.
But everybody he's fought he fought Alex Caceres, Leroy, Bruce Leroy. That dude's a fucking gangster.
Yeah,
he fought Cub Swanson.
Yeah,
dude's a gangster. And then he fought Jourdain, who's but it doesn't matter because Jourdain still beat him. I don't think the guy's won a fight in the UFC. Did he beat Bruce Leroy? I don't know. I don't know if he even beat Alex Caceres, but yeah, I have to go with Mitchell on that, dude. When you look at the pedigree and everything else, I think that Kron has 1 knockout. He's 5-2, 5 submissions, of course. Bryce Mitchell being a gangster on the ground as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's nowhere even close to Kron's ground game. But
no, but he's a lot more swifty on the ground than the people that I think that he's fought.
This is a big fight for Bryce, though.
Right.
Big fight.
Yeah.
For both of them, honestly.
Bryce is one of the only people to finish a twister, I think, in the UFC, too. After that, Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov. Both these guys were title contenders at some point. That's a hard one to call for me. Really is. I don't. Yeah. When you look at the odds.
To toss them up, man. That's another toss them up fight. That's why this card's so good. You got a lot of really good matchups. Now, you got to have some.
Well, some of these are going to end up being duds, right? Yes, it just happens every time.
Happens every time. Usually when you see a badass card, that's what it is. It's a decision. Because everybody's scared of taking chances and losing their luster.
Yep.
And that's the problem. You get scared of losing instead of the will to win.
Especially if you
don't want to lose more than you want to win.
Right. And hype and record are everything now. Those are your bargaining chips. Besides, social media is one of them too. But, the hype that you have behind you is everything.
Yeah.
That's a toss 'em up. But I'll probably take Cyril Gane.
I'm going to take him too.
You're going to take him too?
Yeah.
Next fight is interesting. I love this matchup. Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Machado Gary.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to call. I don't even know.
I like Gary, man.
I do too, but
and
I like Shavkat as well, dude.
Yeah,
And I think Shavkat, they're both undefeated. The odds, they got Ian Gary is the underdog, plus 295. Shavkat is minus 375.
Wow.
If I had to pick, though, I'd probably take Shavkat. I
like Gary.
Cool all right, so I think that's the only one so far that we differ on, really. So that's cool. A little. We can get all the way to the fucking co-main event, and we decide to
pick different.
And the main event, obviously, is the guy we talked about earlier, Kai Asakura and Alexandria Pantoja. I'm taking the Asian guy, dude.
Really?
I'm taking him. First fight in the UFC. Maybe the guy where he just broke his jaw in like 2 places. Maybe that dude was a scrub. I don't know. Because it was over. It was like Verizon, I think, in Japan or something.
Yeah, Risen in Japan, and which is they're supposed to take the place of like Pride and
it's probably their biggest promotion over there now.
It is, man, but again, it's just like lack of high level competition. That guy's seen.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a test for him.
Yeah,
and I remember, dude, I think like it's really hard when everybody was wanting back in the day. It was Takanori Gomi. Everybody thought he was gonna man, this big Asian sensation. Takanori Gomi.
Is that the one that fought? We were talking about this the other day at Thanksgiving. They fought in Pride. It was an American dude, and they had each other by the head. And just bam, bam.
No. That was Dan Severn, and I don't know the other guy's name. I can't remember his name, but Takanori Gomi it's called the Thunderball Kid or something like that, I think. And he was this big Asian sensation, winning in Pride, all these other things. Gets a fight with Nate Diaz in Pride in America, the first Pride America that they had. Nate Diaz go plotters him right off the rip. Next thing you know, that kid ends up, he goes back to Pride, whatever. Then get the UFC buys Pride. Then he gets his chance and fumbles it, bro.
Oh, really?
He's just not the thing. I want to say Kenny fought Gomi.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Kenny Florian, a veteran of the podcast here.
Man, let me look at that up.
Great guy and UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Did he was they put him in the Hall of Fame?
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either. Yeah.
Nope. Not yet. He'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
You would think. Man, Kenny's fought some of the greats too, man, at lightweight.
Yeah, but Gomi was Kenny did flag Takanori Gomi and submitted him in round 3.
Damn.
This was in 2010, bro. Damn. Almost 15 years ago, March 31st, 2010, the main event. I remember that fight. That's why I thought. So Takanori Gomi is 35-14. That was his record, yeah.
When it was all said and done?
Yeah.
So even after his UFC losses.
Yep. Yep. 150,
I can see why
the
he
fireball kid, dude. But anyway, he's 46 years old now.
What was it? What does it have his picture on there? Let's see what it looks like.
He's old school dude, man.
Yeah.
So anyways, he was the last Asian sensation. And so I'm going with the Brazilian.
You're going Alexander?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Pantoja is tough as fuck.
He is, man. And so
he's been around for a long time as well.
So another thing about Japan is you got knees to the head on a grounded opponent. And that dude, when he broke that guy's jaw and got down, he just was slamming knees. Yeah. That's a good thing. I think we're slowly getting to that. People are wanting to see more from the
because everybody's getting barbaric.
Yes, yeah, with the bare knuckle stuff.
Dude, but I mean everything.
So here, now you gotta have like a knee on the ground, right? Mm-hmm. If you have a hand on the ground, you can still get knee in the head. Mm-hmm. So it's eventually gonna be like you have to have both knees on the ground.
You're like, listen, you're just gonna have to be on your back.
Yeah. Well, it's just gonna be like knees to the head are legal. It's eventually gonna get to there, man. It's eventually gonna get there, right? And so I just it's a rule change, man. We were talking about vertigo. I got vertigo, man. I'm like thinking everything's all cool. Boom, I got kneed in the head by my coach who fought in Japan. And I was like, whoa, what is going on, man? It gave me vertigo out of nowhere, man.
Yeah.
So take the Brazilian.
You're taking Brazil. All right, so we disagree on the co-main and the main event. Well, it's going to be easy watching this card, trying to keep up with all that shit this time around. Last time I'm like, wait, who do we say? I got to go back and rewatch shit just see. But yeah, I think it's a great card. I think that probably one of the better cards of the year to the non-casual fan, because obviously people will be like, oh, what do you mean, John Jones and blah blah. But that's just like we tuned in for 2 fights on that entire card.
Yeah.
You paid $80 for 2 fights. This one you're paying $80 and you're getting however many it is, 11, 12, 15, I don't know. But that's sick, dude. I'm stoked for that. And it's this weekend. I ain't got shit going on this weekend.
I ain't got shit going to do.
So before we start wrapping things up, we have fighters fighting this weekend, right?
We just got one. We got Corey. Corey's 3-0 on the year. So this will be, as an amateur, this will be his 4th fight for the year, and hopefully 4-0. He's got a tough opponent from Team Rock out of Charlotte, but his last fight was from Pitch Black. Yeah. So with Stephen Thompson, he tapped him quick.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Corey's a dog too, man. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for locking in with us. Appreciate you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you are interested in this and like what we're putting out.
The question.
Yeah.
We got a question for you.
Oh.
Hold on, I gotta go find it. I had it up here a second ago.
Oh no. Is it funny? It's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
Oh.
All right, so this question comes from Joshua. AD 5674. Question is random question for DK. How tall are you, and what's your shoe size?
Oh my God! I'm 5'11". I'm shoe size big.
Oh, all right. Well, that's how we're gonna end it. Shoe size big.
It.
Till next time.
A man size.